shaking my head, and my neck's in the action feel after that Buffalo game where they don't. All I can tell you is
Dolphins number one, baby!
Things up, baby.
Dolphins
Things
number
up.
one!
I swear, if a certain quarterback is mentioned in the comments, got my beers ready. I'm gonna crack it open.
Or is it the Serbian kid?
Serbian kid,
This looks done. Oh my god, it looks fantastic.
I hate Super Bowl. No, be the man. Gotta be the man. Woo! I'm the man. I said it, and it's reality. All right.
Congratulations.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and joining me, as always, tonight is Mr. Rob Mosley, a.k.a. Dolphin Thursday. How you doing, Dolphin Thursday?
I'm doing fine, Steve. Thank you.
Sounded like I said Dolphin Thursday.
I know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know what you mean, and it's written there, so it's all good, and everything's good at Dolphin Thursday. Need to update it a little bit. A couple past days have been a little bit tough, but going to get it updated. Always fun to talk Miami Dolphins talk with all of our people here on this network, and make sure you guys like and subscribe, and have a good time if you love the Dolphins.
Yep, and don't forget to share with your friends, your families, your neighbors, and always remember, we may not always agree on all Dolphins, but there's one thing we can agree on: we are all Dolphins.
That is true.
So how's your week going, Rob?
No, I can't complain. Like I said, working on some stuff behind the scenes with my Dolphin stuff, but need to get it up to where I can get it published and everything on my site. Other than that, just keeping busy. I'm a baseball fan. I know you're not the biggest of baseball fans.
No, I'm not.
I like baseball, so it's fun that baseball season has started. Even though my Red Sox are not the best team on the planet this year, but it's okay. They've given me a lot of victories. It's time for the Dolphins to give us a lot of victories. So that's why we talk Miami Dolphins all the time on this network. So it's
absolutely. We're waiting on our guest. As you all know, we're going to have a special guest tonight. That's Barry Cunningham from Fanfare. He should be joining us shortly. And there he is, Mr. Barry Cunningham. Welcome.
Hi, I can see you. Oh, my light decided to join me.
And then there was light.
Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
We hear you
perfect.
Loud and clear.
Perfect.
Loud and clear. How you doing?
Good, man. Just trying to get all this technology stuff working. Sometimes when I connect to StreamYard, it doesn't want to cooperate for some reason. Just with StreamYard.
Most
you
of
don't
the
run
other
your
software
through StreamYard. That's good.
Pardon me?
You don't do your shows through StreamYard?
No. I have a broadcast software, and then I also use actually, the only time I've connected through StreamYard is when I did something with TD and Doug. Mm-hmm. I usually, if I broadcast live, you guys familiar with vMix at all?
Nope, that one.
I'm not.
I use vMix. See, like right now, my microphone.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Is it jumping around?
No, it's fine right now. But it was when you showed us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but you're good. You're good. You're loud and clear. You got a good picture. I see you got your black hat on there and red shirt, so you're good. So where's your Dallas Cowboy hat? That's what I want to know.
If you want to get into that first, we can go there first. It just cracks me up.
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't get into this to. I'm just not your typical fanboy. A lot of these guys, and they've got all the stuff in the background and everything else.
Right.
What just happened? Can you still see me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we see you. We hear you.
So I got involved in this because I like sports. I'm from New England, and when I lived in New England, I was a Boston Red Sox. I'm still a Boston Red Sox fan.
There you go. You got a buddy right there.
My mom and dad were both Yankees fans. Mets fans.
Right.
My wife of 30 years is a Yankees fan, so we've gone to Yankee Stadium and Fenway a few times together. Yeah. I grew up as a child loving Notre Dame. I've stayed a Notre Dame fan. I lived in Connecticut until I was basically went to college, and I was indeed a Cowboys fan. I didn't move to Florida, especially South Florida, until probably, I'd say, late 99, 2000. We were up in Daytona and Orlando. And so my environment was, hey, listen, you're a Cowboy fan. You've gone to Giants games. My dad, when he was alive, lived in Baltimore. I would go to Ravens games, and before that, Colts games. And, I like football. So when I got involved here down in South Florida, from a business perspective, I really started getting into the Dolphins. As I've said many times, my main business is real estate. I just do this for fun. And so I've dealt with a lot of people who've worked with Stephen Ross and some of the real estate deals that, I've just admired over the years. And then I got to work with some of his, I'd say, lower level people who are looking for things. And they say, if you could find a deal, bring me a deal, we'll take a look at it. So I did some farming in that regard. And, started seeing what this Dolphins nation was all about. So I'm not ashamed that I was a Cowboys fan, because I'm still a Cowboys fan. I'm not ashamed that I was a Patriots fan because Tom Brady, was there. I was a fan of Tom Brady. So when Tom Brady went to the Bucks, I watched him there as well. So it's not that I disavow any team. I like football. I've met some of these guys. I mean, nobody wanted to know the backstory on some of these things, but a friend of mine, he got drafted by the Patriots, got traded to the Minnesota Vikings, and I followed him when he played for the Vikings. So it's just one of those things where they expect you can't do anything else. You either a Dolphins fan, or what's the term you're using? You're a casual. Or you're not a real fan. And I'm like, call me what you will, but I'm not going to stop it being engaged and being entertained and even liking what some other teams do. I get intrigued by the game. Watching what's going on with the Baltimore Ravens right now, I don't really have any ties to them, but it's really interesting what's happening with the Lamar Jackson situation. It's really interesting now that they've brought in OBJ and what they're doing there. So of course I'm going to watch it. The only team that I've ever basically discounted from any sort of admiration is the friggin' New York Yankees. I hate the Yankees. Everybody else besides that.
That's the same team. That's the team I hate the most in all sports. Is the Yankees. New York the only one I would use the H word on actually is the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Connecticut. My mic comes on this software keeps modulating. I grew up a Boston Red Sox fan all the way back since I can remember. I remember my dad got me a glove the year that Carl Yastrzemski won the Triple Crown, and so people talk about, well, you don't understand the pain of the Dolphins. Really? So the Dolphins haven't won a Super Bowl since 1972. Right. So we're talking 50 years. Do you know?
The Red Sox went 86 years. Yeah, believe me, I know. The guy was rooting for them back in the day.
Yeah, you don't know pain. And then I remember managing a bar, and I had bought everybody at the bar a drink, thinking it was over. And then I watched Mookie just come.
Yeah, I know. I don't like that to this day. I mean, though we've won a lot since then, but yeah, that 1986 still kills.
Yeah, and when Bill Buckner just went right through his legs.
Yeah.
And,
I know.
And that was it. So I know the pain of losing, and also as a Notre Dame fan, we haven't had anything going on since the Lou Holtz days. So we're talking 40, 50 years. So don't give me this. Oh, you're not a real fan crap. That doesn't make any sense. So you brought it up. I just wanted to address it.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes,
I'm watching my dial on my soundboard, and it's dropping. You're saying, don't worry about it. It's not dropping.
You sound perfect to us.
You sound good.
Wow. Okay. I won't
you
worry
sound
about
great. No, but I'm with you, Barry. And the only reason why I brought that up is because I was looking through Twitter before we started the show. And somebody on there said, "Hey, don't forget to ask Barry about him being a Cowboys fan."
And
so I thought I'd just bring it up, and giggles.
I am too big to duck. I am too big to hide. I will engage, as I've told you. with anybody. But when they get nasty and they start swearing online, and bye, I don't have time. I don't need your negativity. You mean nothing to me, and you're showing me that you don't have the ability to have any discourse or don't want any discourse. So why don't you just ignore my stuff? I don't care. It doesn't bother me. So whatever.
No, I agree. And to be honest, I'm a Dolphins fan. I've been a lifelong Dolphins fan. I've been a fan since 1969.
Wow.
I was born and bred in Miami, Florida. I live in Houston, Texas now.
Oh,
But
okay.
my military career took me, here and there. But anyway, so I was there for the 70s, the whole we had season tickets in the Orange Bowl back then. So I saw the 17-0 season. So
wow.
But I understand what you're saying about being a fan of other teams and stuff. And I do have favorite teams. Look, my wife's a New York Giants fan.
Okay.
So I got to make her happy, right?
Yeah.
So when the team's playing, I'm rooting for the Giants unless they're playing the Dolphins. That's
Right.
a written rule.
I find it false when people say you don't have other teams that you like. If that were the case, that would mean 30 other fan bases across the country, across the world, would never watch the Super Bowl.
No, right, for sure.
There's two teams in the Super Bowl. There's 30 fan bases sitting home doing nothing. They're watching the Super Bowl. There's people around the world who aren't real. I mean, this past one, I could really care about Philadelphia. Didn't care about Kansas City, but I watched it. Yeah, and I rooted for, in this case, the wrong team. I was hoping Philadelphia would pull it out, but I guess I'm just a little bit more dynamic than what some people think.
Right.
Whatever.
But all right, so let's get into what I wanted to talk specifically tonight on. Basically, I want to get both your views, Rob. I kind of know yours already, but on the free agency and the draft coming up, and I wanted to get your take on Grier, how you think he did with this year's free agency, and where do you think they're going to go in the draft? And let's start with you, Rob, and then we'll go down to you, Barry.
Okay.
Yeah, you know where I stand, like you said, so I'll keep it short so we can have Barry in our limited time here. Sure. I still think, overall he's done okay. I just think, offensive line, because it's, to me, until you really get the offensive line really built. I do believe some of our cogs are better. I would still like to see a little more at right tackle, just so it's really a solid, competition, because they say they want. We know how they word it, and the Dolphins have been kind of straightforward this year in how they've talked. From day one, they said Tua was their quarterback. He's been the quarterback. From day one, they said they liked their running back room from last year. They brought them all back. Doesn't mean they can't sign other people at those spots. But so far, they've been pretty much. And he says with Austin Jackson, he wants competition for Austin Jackson. So, that's the thing where, maybe he's really living that.
Where's the competition?
I know. That's what I say. So that's where I think he lying. And, but there's still a lot of off season to go, because we got June 1st cuts that teams do and frees up more money, and there become salary cap casualties on other team that may be an upgrade on the Dolphins. So I'm not panicking yet.
All right. Hey guys, thank you for joining the chat tonight. I see JM Santos in there, Evans in there, Cat for Life. Thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate y'all. Go ahead, Barry.
So you said something that I'm not going to say I disagree with, but I take a different perspective. When you said that Grier, and McDaniel said that this is what they're doing, and you basically said you believe what they say, I look back and go, they can't tell you what they're going to do.
Of course, they don't tell you exactly, but this year they've been kind of legit.
So they're legit until they're no longer legit. And so what a lot of people got pissed off at me about, because all through the season, I was a Tua guy, Tua. I even got accused of people of being the other side. They accused me of being Tuanon. And then when late November hit and things started going south, I started questioning things. And where I started questioning things a lot is when I started hearing Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel say things that didn't really pan out. And I won't get into it here because it's long and people get freaked out when I talk about it. But when he did the press conference on December 26th, and I've done a video on it, I listened to what Tua said. I listened to what Mike McDaniel said. From that day, the stories have changed between what Tua said, what his parents said, what Mike McDaniel said. Was he in the protocol? Was he not in the protocol? People aren't understanding that the league actually controls protocol, not the team. Once you admit that there's a concussion, you're in the protocol. Then we're told he was pulled out and told he couldn't play. Then his parents said that he's still in the protocol. And this is all chronologically available for anybody to go see. A lot of people just say, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, Barry. And I'm like, just understand what got me concerned. I started digging. And I was going to put a compilation and say, okay, here's what Tua said. Here's what Mike McDaniel said.
Right.
Here's what Greer and McDaniel said at the press conference. By the way, at that press conference, Josh Boyer probably still thought he had a job.
Yeah.
Okay, so at that
right.
press conference, he said, oh, I'm really proud of the job that the defense did. And what happened? A couple of days later, Boyer's on the unemployment
Right.
line.
Now that one.
So I understand that the nuances of being a coach, number one, you got to protect your player. So whatever they were doing with Tua, the end goal was we need to protect him. Then his agents got involved and blew off interviews with the press where a lot of the fanboys were like, oh, he doesn't need to talk to them. And I said in the video very next day, I said, do you realize the next game's not until September? That means the media has 7-8 months of doing nothing but arming the shotgun and pointing it at him because he wasn't talking. And, to me, he was the captain. To me, he is the captain. Yes. To me, you have to, look at Aaron Rodgers is on Pat McAfee's show like every Tuesday. So you got one extreme with Aaron Rodgers, and then you got our quarterback who just doesn't talk. And I was watching some things today with the luau, and you can really see he smiles, he has fun when he's around his people, and it's comfortable. But even when they were talking to him at the luau, he didn't seem comfortable with the press. So whatever jujitsu you're doing, you should go do some media jujitsu, because what's going to take him a long ways is learning how to deal with questions, take them all on, answer them as best you can, and learn how to deflect without looking like you're deflecting. Speaking of deflecting, your question to me was, what do I think about Chris Greer in what he's done in the offseason? And I'm going to say, other than, what's the guy's name? David Long and Jalen Ramsey, he's definitely shored up the defense.
Yes.
What's he done on offense?
Well, he's ran everybody back.
Yeah.
So that the answer to that question is nothing.
Not a damn thing. No, that's right. And that concerns me. That concerns me a lot.
He did nothing. So if you guys know, and I know, and we watched the entire season, I broadcast every single game, and we could see all the way back to preseason. And I guess the guy's name was Larney Coleman, and I was like, oh my God, this Coleman. Guy, he can't block. And they were just putting in anybody with a body to see if they could block. And so it's not like he's messed up the free agency market. You haven't done anything since September.
Yeah, and it's puzzling, Barry. It's puzzling because here's why it's puzzling to me. Because no matter what you believe about Tua, whether you believe he's the franchise quarterback or not, he is our starter. So okay, as of now, he's our starter. McDaniel said he found a gold mine in Tua Tagovailoa. That he fits his system well and all this kind of stuff. Well, with that said, knowing his injury history for not just last year, which was the most critical injury history with the concussions, because those are life-threatening, very life-threatening, you're not going to go out and get it. And then, and then he said, well, I told the organization wanted offensive linemen, but I told him, no, Tua needs weapons.
So Steve, I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
I see a window behind you. I think it's a window with a curtain, right?
That's correct, yes.
So I want you to tell everybody on your street, everybody near you, I got a pot of gold sitting here. I've got a gold mine. And then what I want you to do is open the curtains, open the window, and leave your house.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you're telling me you've got a gold mine, most people either have a safe or they're armed or something to protect the gold mine that they have. If you know you have a gold mine that is basically the reason for your success or failure, why haven't you plugged that hole on that right side to make sure that that gold mine is secure? And that's the question I keep asking. And I only have one supposition to that.
Mm-hmm.
And my one supposition is that nobody ever talks about it because this guy's even more in the closet than Tua. We haven't seen anything from the new offensive line coach. There's been
yes, that's right.
nothing.
Right, Barry Smith. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe,
or excuse me, Butch Barry.
So maybe he has gone in and he has sat there and looked at every single film and gone back and forth. And he may have walked into Mike McDaniel's office and like, I got it. These guys weren't trained. I know what kind of scheme we can do up front. Maybe we're going to do some influence blocking. I don't know. But maybe he was the one who said, this is going to work. We got the guys. Because I can't understand how you would bring a new offensive line coach in, have him assess the guys that you have, and then go, we're good. So somebody had to have told him. So he brought they brought Vic Fangio in, paid him a couple $1 million. Vic goes, hey, I need a safety or a cornerback. I need a stud linebacker. And they go out and get it.
Right. No,
they went out and got David Long. They went out and got Jalen Ramsey. He goes, that's what I need. So did Butch Barry goes, we're good. Because there's a disconnect there. You absolutely went and got what Vic Fangio said he needed.
Right.
Bev and this guy Barry haven't told you what they need. You passed on every really big name offensive tackle, and there has to be a reason why. And so that's the only thing I can hang my hat on is somewhere along the lines they watched films and they kept coming back and going, I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I could think of.
I don't know. It's just baffling to me, and I'm not comfortable with them going into the season with starting in September without a right tackle or a left guard, and more so a right tackle than a left guard, because I've said this on shows past. I felt that Robert Jones did an adequate job at left guard when he filled in for Eichenberg.
Yeah,
but right tackle for sure, and I don't know if there's anybody left, to be honest.
That's the other thing. People are saying go ahead and draft somebody. I'm like,
nah.
Do you know what quality of lineman you have to draft that's going to step in from day one? I mean, there's too many nuances to learn. I mean,
we don't have a history of drafting linemen.
And by the time you get to 51, now I understand Barry Jackson had some stuff today that they may move up. They may try to make some trade. Because one of my predictions is I don't think Mike White's going to be on this roster. I think Mike White
really
with I don't think he's going to be on the final roster.
Wow.
I think, and this is here in April. I think Mike White coupled with somebody else might be good trade bait to another team to move
Wilkins.
Up. Nah, that would be suicide.
Yeah, but we got Zach Sealer. Zach Sealer played. He was third, not last year before that. He was playing at a high level. He still played at a high level this year.
Those two guys were just. I mean, I just remember watching the games. I'm like, Christian Wilkins is a stud. I mean,
no, he is. He is. But is he worth $18 million?
It's a lot of money, but they just signed that guy in Tennessee for a boatload of money too. I mean,
and don't forget they got to sign Zach Sealer. He's going to want his bag too.
Yeah, and it is a lot of money and not a lot left in the bank.
Yeah.
So
we're already right up against the numbers, and next year numbers are even looking worse. You're going to have a lot of maneuvering to do. So. And that's why everyone was saying, oh, go get Devin White. But Devin White's the same thing as Wilkins. He's going into his 5th-year option and wants to be paid.
No. Devin White, I read his PFF scores. Again, Rob, that's a good indicator for me of a person's production. He ranked 42. He was 42.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know, but anytime a big sexy name comes out there, Dolphin fans all want the new shiny toy. But to me, he's not definitely – he's not
No,
the guy to go
he's not
get,
the
because
guy.
like I say, that would really set things bad with the franchise to me from a morale standpoint too. If you go sign him, give him the money, and then you don't pay Wilkins his money that he's been here doing
Yeah.
everything for the team
Yeah.
for, you need to either pay Wilkins or, whatever decision you're going to do on Wilkins.
You
But
pay Wilkins and maybe trade Zyler, but you're not going to get a lot for him. You're going to get what, a 5th round, and also
But
we
this is
got
our year,
Ogba on
if we're going to
contract.
be good,
Ogba.
you just run with what we have right now, and then worry about next year, I guess. Because
But see, that's what a lot of people are saying. Let's run with what we have, and I'm like, well, so my original question is, what have you done to improve the offense? And if they're saying we're going with what we got, because basically it's everybody. I mean, Cedric Wilson as of today is still there. Maybe
you got
Eric,
Braxton Berrios that some people like. They say that he could be an improvement in the in his style game. Meets well with Tua.
I like Barrios.
I like Barrios
And
though,
he
but
can be turn kicks and punch.
Have you noticed the recent videos are all River Craycraft out there?
Yes,
with Tua, so he knows he's going to get pushed for a position. So Barrios might just be stuck running back punts and kicks. Who knows? I mean, because one of the guys I was really hot on preseason was Easy Eric Ezekama.
So I thought
with his big body, I thought he was going to be out there. Notice nobody also never talks about Channing Tindall. This kid was a stud at Georgia. Yeah. And he got put into witness protection plan as well.
Yeah,
Nobody heard of him.
Rookie class was non-existent. I know we didn't have many picks last year, just like this year, but the draft class last year, Skylar Thompson, the 7th round pick, played more than all of them. So
I don't know. I mean, I think that Channing Tindall looked like he could have been promising. Maybe under Vic Fangio, he's looked at him and goes, "Yeah, we got a guy here." Eric Ezekama, I thought could do something. I mean, shit.
And he still might, still might. So we're giving him this year for sure. So.
But now you don't have a tight end. You've got that guy Eric Saubert.
Right.
But you weren't throwing to Gesicki anyway.
No. I don't believe we're gonna need a Gesicki type tight end.
Yeah.
I think we're set with Smythe and the new guy
Tanner
Eric.
Kid.
And Tanner Connor's more of a Gesicki.
Receiver. He's more the kind that could fill in,
Yeah.
But they only threw him like 2 passes last year, and he dropped both of them. So but they keep on saying
give the guy a
things.
break. Come on.
I know, but they keep on saying good things about him. I know. I give him a break, but you can only say good things and keep him on a roster for so long.
Yeah. That's true.
Thank you,
like
Michael.
If they're looking for something in the draft for the positions they need, it could be kind of iffy. I mean, at one point, I looked and I said, I think I was talking to TD and Doug. I thought at one point they might have a chance of Hendon Hooker, that he could slide, but that kid's numbers are going off the charts, and he's moved.
Wait a minute, Barry. Hendon Hooker? Are you talking about a quarterback?
Yeah.
We got a gold mine. What are you talking about?
Put more gold in that pot, boy. Because I mean, at the time, he looked like he might slide down, but he's done nothing but skyrocket.
He's shooting up. There's another guy on this network that loves himself and he's a big Tua fan, but he likes Hendon Hooker too.
Yeah. He may be the 3rd best quarterback in the draft from what they're saying. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I think a lot of people got worried about his age, and then he was playing what they kept saying is a one-read offense in Tennessee. And I loved when he went up to the podium. He's like, "Hey, man, don't blame me because they can't cover my wide receivers." And I thought that was the best statement ever, because Tua could have said the same thing. Don't blame me that they can't cover. Waddle and Tyreek.
Like you say, there's a lot of smoke screen, but I hear his name shooting up. But then at times you heard, Anthony Richardson, which I've watched him play, and he's, because my son goes to the University of Florida.
Oh, okay.
He's a talented kid, but he's definitely not like 1st round caliber, but he's probably going to be drafted up there.
He's a project. He's a project.
So, quarterbacks tend to get drafted higher a lot of times and pushed up because teams are desperate for a quarterback. So,
and there's a lot of teams this year who need quarterbacks. So that makes it even worse. I mean,
but you intrigued me when you said Mike White may not even be on the roster, and the reason why I'm saying that is because when we got Mike White and they asked my opinion on one of our shows, I said, it's a backup. It's just a backup. But I really think, honestly, I I believe Skylar Thompson has more of an upside than Mike White does. That's
You would hope
just
so.
me.
He's got a year under this
Right.
system. He's
Right.
played. There's no reason
Exactly.
why. Put it this way: if they go into camp and they go into OTAs, then they go into mini camp, and then they get into preseason, if Skylar isn't above Mike White just from an aspect of playing better in camp, then something might have to happen, because at this point, going in from where he was, you actually started a few games.
Yeah.
You played in the season.
Yeah,
and so you've got film. See, Mike White's coming in and he doesn't have all this stuff. You have your old game films. You sat next to Tua the entire year. You've been in the quarterback room. You have a huge advantage. And if Mike White beats you out, that's not saying much for you. And what was really weird, looking at some of Skylar's film from college, he wasn't the same player. And I don't know what happened, because you look at some of his stuff in college and this kid would take off if the lanes were there. He'd run for 30.
That was the thing I was most surprised, is lack of running that they didn't figure into the offense. I don't know if they just told him don't run because our quarterbacks are all banged up, so they didn't want. They may have just told him.
That's a good point, Rob. You make a good point. Listen, guys, I'm sorry to say, but we're about ready to shut down here. It's only a.
We've been talking for 30 minutes already.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Barry.
Time
flies when you're having fun, man.
They got another show right after us, and they have an open mic tonight. So if you want to still chime in with them, you can.
Who?
Evan
Bandwagon.
So you guys are you have like we'll
have a doubleheader.
It's the Fins Talk Sports Network, so they got other shows. We're just two hosts, and then right after this, they got the Bandwagon, and tonight they're having an open mic night. So,
well, when you want to talk to me again, just go ahead and book time, because I asked the wife. I said, "Can I spend some time doing something live tonight?" And she goes, "Sure, go ahead." And then I just love talking. As you can tell, I just love talking, especially about football. The draft is coming up, and I think they've beaten the draft to death. I mean, they've turned a one-day event into a 3-month coverage, and it's like, please, can this thing be over already?
I'm old enough to remember when the draft. I liked it before it was popular. I liked it. It used to start on a Tuesday morning on ESPN. Was the only one that covered it, and it was on Tuesday. Dan Marino was actually drafted on a Tuesday. If you go back and look up the history, and I remember being so happy, and most people, who's that? Because no one followed the draft back then, And I was so happy. And I admit, I had the big old blue Mel Kiper book and Arled's guides and all of these things back in the day.
You know what the last fun draft was for me? During the pandemic, because they didn't have people walking on stage making big. Okay, you're number 3. You're number 4. You're number 5. Boom, we're done. Okay.
Well, that was the year that we should have killed it. We had 3 first-round draft picks that year, and 2 of them are definitely in question. And you could question 2 of being in question due to health. But,
I'm going to give. I know you guys got to run. I'm going to give him the benefit of a doubt, because I feel he's earned it. But at the same time, and this is where people used to get pissed off at me, and I've said it many times. The analogy is, we all have insurance policies on our car. We all have insurance. Most of us have insurance policies on our health. Most of us have life insurance if we own a home, or if we have house. And we don't have any insurance. You're telling me you're going into this season and you're pushing all in on Tua, which is fantastic. But what happens if that doesn't work?
Yeah,
and nobody even wants to address that. And so you passed on this quarterback, that quarterback. Everybody said, don't even talk about another quarterback. I'm like, okay, I'll be here in September, and let's just hope for the best. But I just don't see a multi-billionaire who's doing all kinds of things going out of hope, resting his entire franchise on hope.
Yeah,
I just don't see it.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Good point, guys.
Barry,
again, thank you, Barry.
Very much. And go Red Sox and Dolphins. Thank you, Barry, for joining.
You forgot about Notre Dame, man.
Oh, no, but I don't like Notre Dame. So that's one thing you and I would disagree on.
That's because you're a Gator.
I'm kind of a Gator, and that's a later life Gator because my son went to UF, so he's going to UF. So.
All right, so Barry, we got a tradition here. I'm going to say remember, and I'm going to say Dolphins #1. And Dolphins #1, baby, and then we're going to sign off. But again, Barry, thank you again for joining us tonight. Appreciate it. I know you're a busy man.
Good luck, guys.
So, good luck. And
Dolphins #1.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember, everybody, Dolphins #1, baby.
Dolphins number one.
Dolphins number
Dolphins
one.
Things up, guys.